Hi again, welcome back with the Canning Nana. Okay, so part of the basics of canning. Today we're going to do asparagus, canning asparagus. One of the things that you need to first do when you're going to be pressure canning, and here is my pressure canner right here. It's a Presto, and I've had it for many years. I also have a Tefal, but it's being lent out at the moment. So that's what we're going to be canning in. So one of the things you want to make sure is that you fill your water with vinegar up to the level that it's supposed to be. And your canner will have specific instructions on what that level is. So I am at sea level. So when I can, everything's at 10 pounds of pressure. And what that means is that I put this 10-pound weight on the canning lid right here. Now it's all discolored. It's kind of old, but it works really well. And the other thing you want to make sure is that your seal is still tight in there. Yes, it needs to come out like that, but it needs to be tight. You need to check all of your equipment before canning each time. This is the little dot that will come up when it starts to steam, and that you know that it's working. If that dot doesn't come up, you're doing something wrong. You want to sterilize your jars and your rings. I will be using the new kind of Kerr seals that you don't have to boil anymore. If you use the old kind, that the ones that don't say the 18 months, Sure-Tight lids, you still have to boil those. It's recommended anyway. These you don't have to. So I've got my jars ready and sterilized right here. This is actually for another project. My cans or my jars for the asparagus are right here, and these are 1.5-pint jars. So you can freeze in these, you can can in these, you can can and put them in the refrigerator. Today we're going to be doing all these asparagus. We're going to be putting them in the jars and then covering them with hot water. Now, let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take an asparagus, and it's easier probably laying on its side, but you take each asparagus of the same similar lengths, and if they fit in there, then you're good. Now, these are a little bit too big, so I'm going to have to cut the ends off of them just a little teeny bit in order to get them in there, or find some that will actually fit. I do have smaller ones. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is filling my jars. This one's too big, like this. And when they are too big, all you have to do when you get ready to can them is you get the whole asparagus, and what you want to do is gently bend them at the joint, and the fibrous part will come off. Now this is not part of the fibrous part. This is going to be canned along with the long pieces, but that's what you do to get it to size. Now over here I have my pieces. These are good pieces. These are not the fibrous end, so I'm going to be adding these to finish packing my jars tightly. So I'm going to do this. This is a beginner, just what you do first. Once you, first of all, your jars, when they come out of your storage or your dishwasher, if you're sanitizing them in there like I do, I have a sanitizing button that does that for me, or you can sanitize them in hot water. You always want to make sure that there are no chips along the ring. So you want to feel around the ring like this and make sure that there's no cracks. Inspect your jars always. You can have a failed canning session with just a tiny little crack in your jar. It won't seal right, and you'll lose everything that you worked really hard to do. So once I do this, I'm going to fill it with hot water, and I am going to wipe the ring with a towel or a napkin dipped in vinegar, and I'm going to wipe it around here like this, and then I'll set the seal on and then screw the lid on and put it in my canner. Now I do that with each jar until the canner is full, and then I turn up the canner after I put the lid on, and we're going to can the asparagus for 40 minutes, or for 30 minutes, sorry, that's for my elevation, which is pretty much 0. If you're above 1,000 feet, you want to look in your canning book or look online. Each college has a agricultural site that you can go in. Each state has an agriculture site where you can get the canning specifics, or you can get the Ball Blue Book for canning, and you can get the times for your elevation there. They usually come with your pressure canner as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then I will be back and show you what the canned product looks like. Unfortunately, I do not have my computer up still. We are still in the process of unpacking. So this is going to be probably a 3-part, maybe 4-part video. And also coming, I did, here, I'll take you over here with me. Right here, I have this all, the lights off. But in here, I did the fibrous part of the ends of the broccoli that normally would get thrown away. But what I'm going to do here, I am going to process that in my food processor until it's a fine powder. Now, if you have a Blendtec or that other blender, can't think of it right now. I have a Blendtec and it works really well, and it pulverizes the spice, whatever spice, or beans or rice or whatever what you want to do. If you want to make rice flour, I'm going to be using this right here to make a powder out of my ends of the asparagus. So we'll have asparagus powder. And what you do with that, you can put that in asparagus soup and make it more tasteful. And you can put it in dishes also, you know, in a recipe. Cream of asparagus soup is really good, and it adds flavor if you put the powder in it. But you might find lots of other uses that you just want the flavor of asparagus if you don't have it. And you can use it that way. So I'm going to finish doing this, and I will get back to you in the second video. Thanks for watching. Tune in.